Alright, so now we're going to be programming the motion capture robot. So this robot's designed to put your hand in front of it, then it'll wait a little bit, and its hands will close shut, and the goal is to try to make it so, you have to try to not get your hand stuck in it. So, the kind of order of it is check the sensors. If it's seen, see if it's been there long enough. If it has been, then go ahead and close, and we'll have it play some sounds and stuff to go with it. So let's get started. So you guys should kind of know the general thing. We need to first include the library, the Smart Inventor library, there we go. And then we also, since we're going to be using the DC motors, we're going to need that line of code up there. Then we'll go ahead and check the sensor. We're going to be using the center sensor for this, so that'll be in pin 20. So we'll get that checked and saved. And then we'll do our if to see if the hand is in front of the sensor. What we're going to be doing is like what we've done for the last several ones. We're going to be having that base level, so that way we know if something's in front of it. So we'll go ahead and we'll get all that defined, just like we've been doing. We'll do the variable up in the top of the code up here. So we'll call it base level center. And then here in the code, in the setup part, we're going to have the read the sensor, and then we're going to subtract 50 from it. Just like what we've been doing, it just gives you a little bit of room for error to make sure that it works well. So now we should be able to know if the hand is in front of it. So we'll go ahead and now we'll work on the rest of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to check to see if we've been here for a certain amount of time. If we have, then we know we can go ahead and clap, because we don't want to instantly go, because then you won't have much of a chance. Then we'll have it wait a little bit, and then you can try to take your hand out. So we're going to see if hand time is the variable we'll be using is greater than minimum time. So what we're going to do is every time your hand is in front of the sensor, we're going to add one to a variable that we're going to call hand time. So we'll first go ahead and create the variable, do it up at the top up there, and then every time through this if statement when the hand is in front, we're going to add one to hand time. So it'll just keep accumulating as your hand sits there. So once it gets above whatever we set minimum time to, we can clap. So for minimum time, what we're going to do is every time through the loop, we're going to give it a random number. So the code for doing something like that looks like this. So what it is we're creating a variable minimum time, and we're saving it a random number between 50 and 255. So it'll wait 50 to 250 times of your hand being in front of it before it'll actually clap. And that isn't like putting your hand in and taking it out. It's 50 to 255 times of going through the loop that it sees your hand, and then it'll eventually close. So now we have the code set up for keeping track of how long the hand's been there, checking to see if it's less than. So we can go ahead and work on the actual clap part. So the first thing we're actually going to do is reset hand time, because we want to be able to do this more than once. If we never reset hand time, then it'll be quite likely that it'll just keep clapping and clapping and clapping and not actually reset. So we're going to set hand time to 0 at the beginning here, so that way we don't forget to do that. Then we're actually going to have it play a little bit of a warning sound, just to give you a little bit of a knowledge of that it's about to close. So we're going to use the Smart Inventor buzz command. I just put in the number 1160, so it'll play a note at the frequency of 1160. So you can also do like what we've done before, where you specify a note. Either way works, and we're going to do it for 1/8 of a second. Then we need to actually clap. So the first part of the clap is closing the hands. So that you guys should be familiar with using the motors. So we're going to do M1 clockwise at 100 speed for 1 second, and that'll be our close. And then we're going to have it close, so we're going to have it go a little bit slower, because we don't need it to go as fast when it's opening, so that way everything goes smoothly. And then we have it do that for 2 seconds, and we're going to have it go to loose, so that way we don't have to, so that way the motor stops and it doesn't keep moving. And then at the very end, we're going to play a couple of notes, again, just kind of a little closing song for it to play. So these are the 2 notes that I picked for it to play. You can pick the notes that you want, the length, all that. So this code should let your robot go through, detect if a hand's in front of it. Once it's been there for a little while, it'll then close, and you can try to pull your hand out, and hopefully you'll get your hand out safely. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys learned something.